Okay, this might be interesting. Labrador Angel. My mom's dog, white lab, named Angel. Go figure. Passed about a year and a half ago. Beautiful dog. She was actually mine first. Oh, I gotta tell the story. I don't know what this is about, but years ago, I lived at a place not too far from here, which is now a rental property that I have. And I had a bunch of dogs. I probably had 6 or 7 dogs at the time, all rescues. I part-time volunteered at an animal rescue place. And back in the 2006 or 7. Excuse me. Neighbor calls me up. Hey, I think one of your dogs is over here. Which my dogs rarely got out because I'm just anal about that. I don't like my dogs getting out. So typically it's locked down prison for my dogs. But they never got out. And I lived on a busy street. Neighbor calls up, says, I have one of your dogs over here. So what's it look like? It says white lab. I don't have one of those. No, I think that's yours. Okay, I'll be right over. I don't work too far from there. So came over. This guy has this beautiful yellow lab. Just beautiful. Yeah, I'm probably about a year and a half old. And he didn't tell me much because this dog just showed up. He's going to get run over. I have no place, So I take it home, put it in one of my dog pens. I keep this dog for about 6 or 7 days. And look at around, I see no sign of, there's no tag on it or anything. Finally, one day, this place across the street from me, a ways down, they have a sign the size of a stamp, it's a picture of a yellow dog lost. This place happens to be a home for people who are recovering addicts and this kind of thing. It's a very large old home on this big property, and the people that run it, it's a big company that owns it, allow these people to come live there and go through their process or whatever. So when I go over there, I said, hey, I think I got your dog. Oh, yeah, okay, so I bring the dog over there. And I said, you got a pin or a lead or something we could put her? Oh, no, we let her roam free. I said, really? He says, yeah, and we don't want anything pinned up here. We want them to have the freedom. So your dog's going to die on that road. Oh, but we'll pin her for a bit. She always gets out, but this guy was all about the freedom for the dog. No one wants to be tied. This is a street that got 18,000 cars a day in one direction going this way. There's another 18,000 coming back this way, and it's a 2-lane road. I still work on that street today, and at the same time, these guys have an old horse. This place is on like 30 acres. They have an old horse out there that's just walking around. There's grass everywhere. No fence. He could, at any point, that horse can walk right out into the street. Big horse. You hit a horse, you die. You get messed up pretty bad. But the horse is smart enough. He'd been out there a long years. He knew what the street was. Thank God for that. Okay. I said, listen, if you want me to take this dog off your hands, I'll take it. If you want a couple bucks for it, I'll give you a couple bucks for it. Oh, no, this is our dog. Okay, but you're going to have to keep this dog off the street. You cross that thing, because a young lab like this, they're dumb as a rock. He's going to get run over, because the neighbor already told him what was going on. So, long story short, a couple days later go by, and my neighbor calls me up. Hey, your dog's over here again. Which dog? He said the yellow lab. I said, it's not mine. It belongs to the guys across the street. I know that, but they don't take care of it. It's going to die. If you can't give it back to them, come over here and come get this dog. Oh, God. So I drive back over there. I park at my place, walk over to his place with a leash. And he goes, get this dog, get him out of here, because they're going to come looking for him. So now, basically, I'm stealing this dog. So I take the dog. I walk out to the field, because these guys come to the front. I'm going out the back. I call a friend of mine. Hey, come get me, man. I'm over on this street, such and such. What? You in trouble? No, just come get me. So my old brother-in-law comes, gets me. We load up the dog, take it to his house, which is right across the street, put in a big pen that he has. The dog ends up living here. And these guys came looking for the dog. I just didn't take their calls. People were saying, hey, these people want your dog. I said, well, I wish them the best. I never told them. I didn't necessarily lie to them. I withheld the information, the truth, but I never gave them the opportunity to corner me on it. Long story short, it took years, but my mom ended up taking the dog. And then the dog was just a terrible dog, just typical lab puppy, tear things up, whatever. And my mom and dad had took her and just spoiled her rotten. Just a beautiful dog. And actually, the funny thing is, I really didn't get along with the dog. She just tore everything up, and she was just so defiant. And but once she got my dad, over time she mellowed out. It just became just a beautiful dog. And the dog went wherever my parents went, to the coast. They live up in a nice house on a hill, all this kind of stuff. And the dog just had a total posh life. So I don't feel too bad for that. But she finally died. She had to be 12, 13 years old. And her name was Angel. Okay, back to the job here, Labrador Angel. But I did more or less steal that dog. But yeah, the truth be told, people in those situations, those little homes for man trying to get their lives together, they're barely allowed to have a plant. They're not to be taking care of a pet because they can't take care of themselves yet. So when I talk to like sheriff, some other people that kind of talked about this, they're not supposed to have pets. That's not their, because they've got to take care of their own thing going on, not some other poor animal. Let's see, it's out of Psalm 143. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love. Labrador Angel. In 2019, Cap Dashwood, there's a name, and his sweet black lab companion, Che, in memory of his lab who died, Dashwood's abbreviation for Labrador Angel, okay, accomplished something remarkable, reaching a mountain summit each day for 365 consecutive days. Dashwood has a moving story to tell. He left home at 16, explaining simply bad family life. But these past wounds led him to find healing elsewhere. He explains, sometimes when you're disappointed by people, you turn to something else, you know. For Dashwood, mountain climbing and the unconditional love of his black lab companion has been a big part of that something else. For those of us like myself who deeply love our animal companions, a big piece of why we do is the sweet, utterly unconditional love they pour out. I kind of see where this is going. A kind of love that's rare, but I like to think the love they effortlessly give points to a much greater and deeper reality than the failures of others. God's unshakable, boundless love upholding the universe. In Psalm 143, as in many of his prayers, it's only David's faith in that unshakable, unfailing love that tethers him to hope in a time when he feels utterly alone. But a lifetime of walking with God gives him just enough strength to trust that the morning will bring me word of your unfailing love. Just enough hope to trust again and to let God lead the way to paths unknown. What signs of God's unending love do you see in the world? How have your experience of God's love given you renewed hope and courage? Loving God, thank you for showing me how to believe in love and joy again. Help me to be a channel of that hope for others. Oh, you hear a lot of people talk about God's unconditional love. And I've said this many times, it upsets people. That's not how I would explain it. Okay. But if you think of it as a program, if you follow the program, everything he promises is available to you. You can easily walk away from that program. Walk away from those teachings, the rule book or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's available to you, but you can choose death. This continued idea that you hear these people, oh, it's just unconditional, come on, come all. And yeah, everyone's welcome to jump on board, but it's like a boot camp. You're going to be changed, okay? You choose life or you choose death. It's as simple as that. But I think sometimes you get a little carried away with this. That, yeah, God loves you no matter what. But if you read John 14, you just read the book, you realize It's not just a show up and win. I know people don't like to hear that, but I'll shut up on it. Matthew 5, 6, and 7, John 14, 15, 16. Can't put it any simpler than that. Listen to what Jesus says, not me. Love you. God bless.